And who has a question for us? Certainly so. You went deeper than you know. And yet you received new energy, new information. And over time, that information will emerge, will manifest as evidence of the new world of dominion that you are creating. And so who would like to begin?
Hey, Tara, this is Francis. Good evening.
Yes, dear one. Where do
You
we
know,
begin?
I realized looking at you how much you look like Katrina.
Indeed, we do. We take this form through her with pleasure.
You know, I'm a horrible jokester. You know that. Um, Tara, I am working on doing some really serious, deep forgiveness over some betrayals and betrayals that came from what it would seem would be nowhere. But of course, they didn't come from nowhere. They came from somewhere. So what would be my best route on helping forgive, helping forgive those betrayals?
Well, actually, we would suggest it begins with you. For you have done so much around it already, haven't you? It is not as
Yes.
though you have lacked effort. The last piece is to forgive yourself for creating it that way, for allowing the reality in the first place. For you are growing and changing so much, and you have ended that past, haven't you? You have
Yes, I have.
let it go. It certainly so. It reminded you of an earlier betrayal many years ago. But now it's time to forgive yourself, to fully let in, I create my own reality. Certainly so, through consciously creating and mostly through allowing. Isn't that so? And
Yes,
in
of course.
this case, it was allowing. It was, and yet, as you reach for new levels of success, what happens? Certainly so. What happens is that belief that limits you, that keeps you from achieving your next level, needs to be released, needs to be let go of. And so to see it that way, to see, oh, okay, there is this thing I have to let go of. It doesn't serve me any longer to worry or fear that I might be betrayed. For that is at the root of it, isn't it? That, oh, if I get too successful, I can't trust anyone. It was when I was so successful that the betrayal occurred. So there is this linking energy between success and betrayal, isn't there? And it doesn't just occur in this lifetime. It occurs in other lifetimes, for instance, in Atlantis, certainly so. During one of the civilizations when there was the end of time, the destruction of a civilization. And you, at the height of success, suddenly had that ripped from you, and your entire reality toppled. And for you in that lifetime, it was not your doing consciously, but a betrayal. It was in an instance where you thought this dear friend was with you, meaning was like-minded, and you discovered in that lifetime that you were, for lack of a better phrase, you were being used to achieve greater heights, and when you both achieved it, that person took you out, so to speak. And so as we're saying these words, we're clearing those energies with your higher self's assistance to clear that from that lifetime, from this lifetime. And yet there is still the need to forgive yourself. And so how do you go about doing that? How do you once and for all forgive yourself and begin to reestablish trust in yourself and God Goddess? And what would be your holdout? Why would you withhold forgiveness? What might be the hidden agenda? Well, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to be betrayed, so I need a guarantee. But you know that wanting a guarantee is a form of control. And where there is a need to control, there is no love. They cannot exist in the same space. And so what is the antidote? The antidote is to love more. Love yourself more. And in this case, certainly so. Love the lifetime we spoke of, and love yourself. Well, but Tara, how do I love myself? I think I am loving myself. Well, what aspect aren't you loving enough? And we would say it is the lesser you, the one who fears, the one who wants to protect you at all costs, the one who wants to hold on to those limiting beliefs to protect you from a future event. And so we have done some work already with merging the lesser you with you the more. There is a meditation you can repeat. And to do it this time with more conscious awareness of what was at work. And you will find that that forgiveness comes quite easily. For it is not all of you. It is the lesser you. The one who wants the guarantee, the one who craves safety and security at all costs, but needs a solution to allow you to move forward. A solution that doesn't exist for him, but does exist for you the more. Does that help?
Very powerful, Tara. Thank you. And I'm going to ask you to join me tonight as I go to sleep to
Certainly
help.
so. We will be with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful. We love you so. And so who is next?
Tara, it's Elizabeth.
Yes, Elizabeth. How
Is that
wonderful.
okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you. On similar area like Francis, when Katharina gave me the X39 patch, I was really, really excited. And I felt the energy, and I felt the next week how it went into my spine and how it repaired. And a week later, I saw a chiropractor for the first time, and this is over 2 months ago, and he attacked my body and my spine and my skull and my head so severely that I am not recovering totally, even using the patches. Do you have some insight?
That has shaken you. One would say has shaken you more deeply than you expected. And whenever there is a situation where it just seems as though you can't move forward in the way that you know you could or should, there is a lifetime weighing it, at least one, maybe many. In this case, certainly so. We are aware at this moment of an Orion lifetime. We would say that you were one of the subjects, one of the human subjects being experimented on. And you were misled. You were misled to believe that whatever process they were going to do was going to benefit you so greatly that it would justify the means, is the phrase that comes. And so even as we're speaking, we are working with that lifetime to heal it completely. So to lift you out of it, to free you from that past. For in that betrayal. For you, it was a deep sense of betrayal, and that is the energy you are dealing with now. And not just any betrayal, Elizabeth, but that from an authority figure. So in this case, the chiropractor being a doctor, being a representative of an authority in your consensus. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And so in that Orion lifetime, a scientist who had advanced technology. And so the X39 patch activated that memory to clear it, to help you release it, to heal it once and for all. For in this new world you are creating, this world of dominion, you aren't creating a simple reality. You are creating one where technology is advantageous, is a key component of human evolution, isn't it? For as technology expands, as humanity's consciousness expands and integrates that technology, much like in Atlantis, certainly so, there are some who say, oh, technology's bad, go back to simpler times. But you know better. You know that technology can advance human consciousness in a way that is beautiful and unique to this time. That with that technology, when used responsibly and when it is married with love, humanity can achieve anything. And that is the way forward. This world of dominion is not one where you all go back to living on the farm, so to speak, not at all. You have each benefited from this time when there's so much more that is elegant about your lives than even 1 or 2 generations back. And there is no desire to be less connected. There is a desire to be more connected, and technology facilitates that, doesn't it?
Yes.
And so there is a frustration that comes from, why is this happening to me? And we would suggest it is because for you to move into that expanded state with confidence, you had to address that deep-seated fear that if I expand too much too quickly, someone's going to hurt me. And clearly John has the similar issue. So we will work with him at the same time. All right. And for each and every one of you listening, it has come up. For each of you, when you speak for the group on some level. Some will resonate, some information will resonate more deeply than others, but know that we are working with you to heal, to love you, to clear the energies, to work between the words with you personally.
Thank you very much, Tara.
Certainly so. We love you so. And who is next?
Hello, Tara. This is Richard.
Yes, Richard, dear one. Wonderful. And where do we begin?
The question would be that your belief system holds you back, but your belief system takes you forward as well. And would, in the new world, would there be a belief system, or would it be more of a knowing?
There will be a belief system, of course. It creates the boundaries. However, there are beliefs that are more expansive than others, aren't there?
Right.
And so what you'll find is that where here in this time, the consensus may still have fear or pain or suffering as part of the belief structure with the faulty assumption, you see, that it will keep them safe. And that is a core belief that when you came into this reality, it was downloaded. Now, since the vortex of the goddess opened in 1994, new information has come into being. And now, so many years later, that information is now becoming much more conscious to you, that you don't have to have the limiting beliefs that you have had, that you can trust yourselves to create a positive reality, a positive experience, that you do have the strength within you to respond and to recreate reality along the way. So it doesn't mean you're going to create it perfectly every step of the way, but you have the ability to recognize, acknowledge, forgive, and change at any moment. And that process becomes seamless. Whereas in the past, it has taken you maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe in some cases years to work through certain topics. What you're finding now is when something pops up in your reality, you can more quickly hone in on what it is that needs to change, and then to do the work, to allow yourself to be conscious of that part of yourself that has allowed that reality, to forgive yourself more quickly, to forgive others more quickly. For what is forgiveness but to give way to something new, to allow something to go, to make room, and to give way to something new, something brand new. It doesn't have to be a logical next step. It can be something completely unrelated. Just because you had this incident, Elizabeth, with the chiropractor, doesn't mean that the next time you go to see some sort of practitioner that it will have any relationship to the last time. You can create a brand new level of awareness and consciousness on a cellular level, so that when you go for a treatment, they may not find the damage that you think is there. They may say, well, it seems as though it has repaired itself, magically so. That's what's possible. And that's what's going to be your norm sooner than later. That is where you are heading. And it's quite wonderful, isn't it?
Sounds fantastic.
And so beliefs do have a place. You do have a need in this physical plane reality for boundary. It's simply part of the natural construct. And so how do you make beliefs work for you? How do they add to your creation? Well, work with more expanded beliefs and you will experience a more expanded reality. And certainly so, we will work with you on this.
Oh, thank you.
With each and every one of you. Wonderful. All right then. And who is next?
I might go if nobody else has anything, or
Yes,
I can wait.
Yes, Michael. Please proceed.
Yeah, hey, I'm actually enjoying this interval. I feel a little bit of guilt saying that because I know that it's a very challenging time for so many, but trying to keep my resonance good. And I just wanted to be more at peace with the fact that it's taking somewhat longer to greenlight the economy than I had originally been programming for. And just to understand that we're on track and why that's happening, instead of trying to control it, just to kind of go with it. And that was my question.
Yes, well, certainly so. There's a wonderful thing happening at this time. There's support for anyone, any individual, any business that has had impact from the coronavirus situation. And that's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normally, you would have a business or an individual would have a situation. Thank you, John. Normally, you would have an individual or a business have to deal with that on their own. But what's happened here is that it is now in the consensus. And so there's a wonderful support for everyone who has allowed this reality on some level, and who has this desire to come home, to be at home, to bring in the new world, this world of dominion. There are massive changes occurring in structure, social structure. Not, we don't mean like communism or some known structure, but more in the way that people are thinking about what's possible. Deeper levels of communication and interaction and collaboration. You're making a leap into a global level of cooperation that makes more sense going forward. Country-specific dynamics take you to a certain level, and then beyond that, there's that desire for everyone to win. So to create these win-win-wins, there has to be collaboration on a broader scale, doesn't it? It's very different than what has been. It's been very linear up until now. But this experience is going to change your world on the fabric of your world on a fundamental level in a wonderful way. For it is now weaving in that element, that energy, that resonance of dominion. And so it is a beautiful energy. It is a beautiful outcome. Unexpected. You didn't know how you were going to get there. Well, what does it mean that we're creating a new world? It looks the same to me, except I might create something a little bit more magical here and there. No, what's happening is a reweaving of the fabric. And it is very magical. And in that fabric is this dominion, this resonance, that will be the new structure. And in that fabric, you will then create your personal reality with that as the base, with that as your primary resonance. And what is possible? Certainly so in this evening's meditation, to begin that, to bring from the unconscious a new component that you may not have been aware of for yourselves. And energy, a component that will help you during this time, this particular time, as these weeks, which are no longer going to be weeks, they're going to be days. And then you're going to say, oh, I didn't quite get done with that work that I was going to do before it ended. And so take this week to be at peace, to be at home with yourself, because it is coming to an end more quickly than you know. There is so much more understanding, a deeper understanding of how the coronavirus works and what needs to be done to contain it or maintain it or to address future iterations of it. Already, it's been quite beautiful to see the brilliant minds at work to find solutions in all arenas, whether it is in medicine, whether it is in alternative health, whether it is through metaphysics. There's a new commitment that has occurred. There is an increase in human consciousness around this that includes willingness, the will. Will is a component of magic, isn't it?
Yes. So
Consciously creating reality according to your will. Certainly so. And with love. The two pillars, will and love, are at work in this situation on a global level. How wonderful. And so please continue.
Oh, well, I was just saying, it sounds like you're saying, trust the timing. It's not taking longer than it was supposed to. I guess I just was chomping at the bit, and would have liked to have it open already.
Well, many of you are operating at a higher vibration. And so for you, what you have accomplished during this time is done, and you are ready to get in action. Certainly so. And so you do have a few more days of allowing that energy to not just fill you, but also to fill your world.
So trust the timing and enjoy the ride.
Exactly. And it does change everything, doesn't it, when you shift to that perspective?
Yep.
It brings more joy and more wonder and more peace.
Well, I also have a desire that just everyone around me have feel like, not the normal isn't the best word, although that's the go-to word, but just to feel that they have their lives back and, a respite from the fears, and to have a sense that, they're going to get paid and everything's going to be put back together. And that's kind of, I can sort of see that fitting together, and I'm optimistic and just aware that, it's important for everybody really to feel like that's going to be the case. So
absolutely. And it will occur more quickly, for the primary energy has set. The benefit of this process is being realized.
Thank you. That's very helpful.